Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Today we got one of those shows for you. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with this topic here. Let's get into it. As you guys know, Team USA recently went to the FIBA World Cup and got embarrassed. They didn't win any of the medals. Not the gold, not the silver, not the bronze. And now you have people making excuses for mediocrity and basically saying, oh, no, it's no big deal. Who cares? Who cares? Because we're always going to win the Olympics, right? So who cares if we lose this? Like, who cares? So basically, we just went out there to just showcase our talents. Like, what kind of stupidity is this? So if it's no big deal, why even bother going? Help me figure it out. If it's no big deal, why bother going at all? Why don't you stay at home? Spare all of us the spectacle. Spare yourself the work, because after all, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're not going there to win, and if we don't win, so what? So why go? Why attend? Why even bother? Of course it's a big deal. You went there because you wanted to win. Those guys were playing hard. They couldn't pull it off. Stop with the nonsense. It is a big deal, right? Because your goal is to win. That's number one. Number two, in the aftermath of this, various people have been saying various things. As you guys know, Noah Lyles called out Team USA called out the NBA, for calling themselves world champions when they don't compete in international games. He said you can only consider yourself a world champion when you're beating teams from foreign countries. Some people in the background couldn't figure that out. I don't know why, but some of us were able to understand quickly. And as a matter of fact, we produced the show yesterday. I suggest if you guys haven't seen it, you go check it out. It's on the channel. It's featuring Giannis Antetokounmpo, where he's essentially coming to the defense of Noah Lyles on a very rudimentary issue that a lot of people somehow ended up getting tripped over their ignorance and lost their way, and they couldn't figure out the obvious thing about it. So that happened. And then I was kind of going through the internet, seeing, what was being said about this news. And then I came across a clip from the Redick show. And in this podcast, Redick was assessing what happened, with Team USA at the World Cup and the FIBA games. And in typical Redick fashion, no one is saying Redick is not a smart guy. No one is saying he doesn't understand basketball. We're talking about his predisposition towards things that he's discussing. He's always going to come to the player's defense, even when there are times when there's just no need to be defending players. And in this particular case, Redick went out there and said, well, you got to understand the players, they tried and this, but you got to understand these guys, when they're playing, they turn into Michael Jordan when they play in these tournaments, right? So what we want to do is we want to play what Redick had to say, where he was essentially trying to explain away why Team USA lost, and then we're going to come back and continue on with the show. Take a listen to what JJ had to say here.
This is not a knock on any player on that roster. It's not a knock on the people that put the roster together, because I said 2 weeks ago after we lost, talking to the Dunker Spot guys, still feel very confident. I still like the roster. I still like the thought process of how they put it together. But the flaws showed themselves multiple times. Steve Kerr said something. It was a very Coach K-esque comment. It's like, these guys, I'm paraphrasing here, I feel bad because these guys are worthy of winning a championship. Yeah. This was a good group. And from the games, I didn't watch the New Zealand game. I watched pretty much every other game. From the games, I'm proud of our group. I don't think it was an effort issue. I go back to some roster limitations, and I go back to not quite grasping FIBA basketball, because it is very different than the NBA, which brings me to my next thing that I want to say. I saw a lot of fucking weird discourse on Twitter bashing our guys, right? Started with Brandon Ingram, who I've already talked about. Coach Case said this about, I can't remember who he was talking to specifically about, but he said this: when these guys play for their national team, they turn into Michael Jordan. You think about Luis Scola, very good NBA player. Incredible for Argentina. Evan Fournier, very good NBA player for a number of years. Amazing. Last World Cup, he was Michael Jordan. At the Olympics, he was Michael Jordan for France. Patty's a little bit older. He killed us multiple times in the past. Yeah. 28-point games, 32-point. Patty Mills turns into Michael Jordan.
In 20, he did.
Yeah. Dennis Schroeder this year. Go back to those Spanish teams like Rudy Fernandez, solid NBA player. Juan Carlos Navarro, he only came over here for 1 year. It was my rookie year. Averaged 11 points for Memphis. Really good player. Goes and plays for Spain. Is Michael Jordan. And so this brings me to why the knocking of our players is so ludicrous. Think about the human nature of this. You play a role on the Knicks. You play a role on the Pacers. You play a role on the Wolves. You play a role on the Nets. Whatever that role is, it's a role where you get to star. You get the ball in your hands. You get plays called for. You get to operate the offense. We're asking you to sacrifice. Let's flip that. You're the backup point guard. You're our spot-up shooter. You're a guy that's coming off catch and shoot. Your only thing you're going to do is play two-man game with Julius Randle. Now you're on the national team. We're running every play for you. Who do you think's more excited about their role? What is the human nature of that? Who do you think's more excited? The guys that are getting a bigger role or the guys that are getting a lesser role? And that's not to say they don't buy in. I'm just saying it is human nature that you're not going to be yourself in this setting. It is very hard.
So you heard what JJ Redick had to say there. Let me just quickly give you guys some of my thoughts before we continue on with the show. He said that these guys turn into Michael Jordan when they play in the international competition. In 2008, when the Redeem team, was assembled, all those American players like Kobe and all of these guys, LeBron, D. Wade, they all turned into Michael Jordan or not? Because when I watched those games, it looked like they were really trying. It looked like they were really sweating in that fourth quarter against Spain. I could be wrong. Or what about in 2021 with the Olympic team? You know, when they beat France 87, 82. Then, that 5-point margin. Oh, let me guess. Those French players, all of them turned into Michael Jordan, I guess, right? We got to stop. It's a way of making excuses. They lost. Stop trying to explain it away. They lost, and it's an insult to the competitors. Is that you're basically saying, we're not this bad, and they're not that good. No, they beat you. Move on to the next topic. And it seems like I'm not the only one that is beginning to get nauseated, finding this nauseating, some of these points that JJ Redick is bringing up, because apparently Chris Broussard and Rob Parker are getting fed up too. Just yesterday, I caught a segment of their show, which I really enjoyed. Chris and Rob Parker's show, The Odd Couple, and they were discussing this. And what I like about these guys is, especially Rob don't be holding his tongue, man. He be calling it exactly how he sees it, and I love that because we need more of that. And these guys, I also like that they're naming these guys by name. They're not just restricting their criticism to just athletes. And I like that because they're providing checks and balances within the system. When they were discussing this, and they were discussing the comments that JJ Redick made, both Chris Broussard and Rob Parker called out JJ Redick for going up there and basically spitting a whole bunch of nonsense all over the computer screen. So what we want to do is want to quickly play what Chris and Rob had to say in response to the things that JJ Redick had to say, and then we're going to continue on with the show. Take a listen to what Chris Broussard and Rob Parker had to say about JJ Redick. Take a listen to that.
Really? Is that what they need to do? Like, you're going to put LeBron out there at 45. You're going to put AD out there so that he could rupture something. I mean, really? Is that what you're going to do?
That's a good point. I mean, LeBron at his age.
What is he doing over there?
I would imagine he wouldn't play. I mean, maybe he'd play a lot, but you know what I mean? You're right. I mean, LeBron can't be risking injury. AD is always a freaking.
That's what I'm saying, Chris. Like, if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, really? All the money we put into this and what we're trying to do, it's nice to play for your country, Chris. They can't do it without you. Like, really, we need to. What we need to get Michael Jordan to play too? Is that we need him back in order to beat Lithuania and these other countries? All excuses, and I saw a JJ Redick podcast where he made excuses that every player from the foreign countries, NBA, who are in the NBA, they played like they were Michael Jordan. He played, like this was their hurrah, so they bulked up and played their best games ever to beat the United States. And I'm like, thank you, Chris. It's the biggest excuse.
You don't think Anthony Edwards, that this was important to him?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
This was important to Austin Reeves and Jalen Brunson?
Right. You think they want to lose?
Right.
And to use that as like they played great because they were playing the United States and all those guys and all hogwash. Total excuses, Chris, to bail those guys out. They lost. They shouldn't have lost. It's embarrassing. How's that?
And let me say this. Now, Rob G, who are the guys? Give me some of the names again. LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum, Draymond Green. According to The Athletic, all of those guys have already said we're in. No matter what, we're going.
So you heard what they had to say. I agree with everything that was said. Everything that was said. We got to stop with the nonsense. We got to stop with the nonsense. You're insulting the competition. In 2021, when Team USA won that gold medal with just a 5-point differential, let me give you some of the names that were on that roster. Because there's this kind of thing flying around here, which is essentially saying, oh, the reason we lost is because we didn't send our best players. And if we send our best players, it's not even going to be close. Let me give you guys some of the names that were on the Olympic team in 2021. Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Jeremy Grant, Zach LaVine, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, just to list a few. These are all NBA caliber players. Some of them are league MVP guys that were on that team. NBA champions that were on that team, and they had to compete. And KD had to come up big for Team USA to win. So this thing of, all we need to do is just send our best players and we're going to go out there and these guys are going to see us and start twerking it up and stop playing defense and we're going to win is laughable. Number one, the international game is different. The rules are different. Number two, the American team decided that, you know what, fine, we're going to be outside where size doesn't matter. We're just going to go out there. We're going to just run our small ball lineup and everything is going to be all right. We're going to shoot threes out of the building, and they got destroyed on the boards. Because unless you're pulling out a starting five and four of those guys are Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, level 3-point shooters, you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. The team wasn't balanced enough. There was no inside presence. And think about how embarrassing it is. It's that embarrassing. They're talking about, oh, LeBron and these guys want to join. I'm happy that LeBron wants to join because he wants to go represent his country. Good for him. They're now talking about recruiting Joel Embiid. Now Joel Embiid is American. Oh, my God. Joel Embiid is now American. I think Joel Embiid is from the Congo or Cameroon, one of those countries. And now because he's going to get a citizenship, now we can pull him along too. Why do you need Joel Embiid? Why do you need him? Why do you need him? It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke. And is this attitude is the reason why these European guys are kicking their asses up and down the street. Keep lying to yourself. Keep telling yourself that these dudes are not really good. Nah, they're not really good. We're just imagining it. They're not like Nikola Jokic didn't just win the last, 2 of the last 3 MVPs. That didn't happen. Joel Embiid didn't just win the last MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't. And by the way, let me close out with this. I hear a lot of cats talking greasy about Giannis Antetokounmpo when he said that he doesn't like the fact he doesn't like training with some NBA players in the summertime. And some dudes were like, oh, you're going to be training with your bro. Yo, I got to call some of these clowns out. Some of these NBA dudes be acting like clowns. You got a lot of guys that got a lot of commentary about a Giannis who have not even accomplished a quarter of what Giannis has accomplished. Not even a quarter. Forget about 1/2. And you got these dudes commenting on this dude. This is what I don't understand. Giannis has accomplished as much as Kevin Durant. You don't see them going at KD like that. All time, I would put Giannis, although KD has more championships, but I would put Giannis, if Giannis wins another, I'm putting him ahead of KD. I'm sorry. A dude that can get you 30, 12 plus rebounds, be a defensive player of the year. I think he won a defensive player of the year, 2-time league MVP, drop a 50 ball in the NBA finals, And they talking about this dude like he's nobody. Nah, he not really nice. Is this disrespect that's causing you dudes to get your asses spanked every year? Y'all are acting like these dudes are not really for real. Y'all are acting like they not for real. Nah, Giannis, he's not that good, but none of you dudes can do what he does. He's not that good, but nobody does what he can do. So if he's not that good, go do what he's doing. You can't do it. The only reason they're talking this madness about Giannis is because, number one, these dudes are acting like them chicks in high school. Now we clicked up, this the pretty girl club, and she not a part of this club. It's like those pretty girls in high school that was mad at that other chick that was beautiful, but she didn't want to be down with them. That everybody likes, but nobody likes them because they're stuck up. And that girl got a great personality, and they're trying to figure out, why does everybody like her? Why does everybody want to talk to her? Because she's personable. Y'all are too busy doing whatever the hell it is y'all doing. Y'all are haters, flat out. It's a common thing of current NBA players, former NBA players, always finding a way to hate on Giannis. Meanwhile, he's more accomplished than the whole lot of them. Giannis can put his resume against any NBA player in the NBA today, minus LeBron James and maybe Stephen Curry, and hold his own just fine. But let's leave it up to these dudes. Who's going to be training with his brothers? Well, apparently it's working. Apparently, winning a defensive player of the year and 2 MVPs and a finals MVP. Y'all been training with whoever it is. Y'all been training. Why y'all don't have those results? Why y'all don't have those results? Y'all are talking about Nikola Jokic. Y'all ain't got no answer for that dude. Enough with the disrespect. Y'all are looking weak. Because it's born out of a place of fear. That's what it is. It's fear. You can say whatever you want to say about the guy. Who comes with more intensity than Giannis Antetokounmpo in the NBA? Name the guy. Name the guy. The dude is a barbarian on the court. A barbarian. And you dudes can't stand it. These dudes are clowns for this. It's the same thing they did to Nikola Jokic in the All-Star game. He was the second to last pick. He was better, arguably, than everybody on the stage. And they picked him last. He was better than arguably every single player on the stage, and they still picked him last. That goes to show you what's going on in these dudes' hearts. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on in the next video. I'm out.